Gaia Speaks. Part 1. 6 Channelings. Gaia Channeling 1. Emptiness versus desire. The throne was never there to scare people, or to condemn people, but only to let people meet themselves, their own inner strategies, and lusts. Gaia includes the coming Ice Age. Vega South bases on Earth. Justice as self-contacting, not as punishment. The coming Ice Age. I am Gaia, your eternal mother, your Mother Earth. I am about to bring you, through several shifts, into the Gaia consciousness. This is necessary for the health and order of your mind. Some of you turned away from the path, building your own mind mirrors to let your desires reflect and weaving a new web of mind based on these desires. It is what the Christ consciousness isn't allowing, for Christ gave up his desires to die on a cross to reach enlightenment. Daniel was thrown into the lion's pit because he held on to his beliefs. Desires are often cars without a brake, ships without a rudder. Now I want you to know that these steps you have to make have to be separated from desires, for a desire reflects your heart situation, your need attached to a pain of poverty. Your wealth makes you desire for more. But there is truth in emptiness. Your wealth makes your desire stronger, it gives you the pride and the right to desire. But emptiness lets you look inside. Your desires blind you in seeing the true path to knowledge. Your desires carry a pain which isn't yours. Your wealth stirs up the fuel of desire, and will call upon the lower entities to fulfill these desires, but it burns away the deep satisfactions. You will have a satisfaction at the surface, but it's built on the crimes which the desires want to keep secret. Your desires are to escape responsibility, to quench that what is really going on. Your desires give you hope, your desires give you faith. But I am here to tell you that emptiness and gratefulness are ways to reach the higher levels of life inside your heart. For if you will hold on to your present materials, your present possessions, you cannot reach a deeper dimension, for you will get stuck in front of the portals. By emptiness you can travel. When you come to God with empty hands, he can fill you. Your desires block you from reaching the water, for water is built on emptiness, is built on letting go. When you have it in your fingers it escapes, and separates. The rain tells you of separation. This is why it can soak into everything. It comes from emptiness, and goes back to emptiness. Your desires have built cities, and villages, kingdoms and empires, for humanity didn't want to listen to the deeper cries of the heart. One worshipped the golden eye, without leaving the ship of this age. One believed in trends, and the ones who represented the other ages, or the coming ages, became the outcasts. Isn't it better to be ageless than to be an age racist? This is why the Ice Age has to come. This is why the fire needs to be quenched, for the wheels are spinning too fast, and it burns away the true hearts of society. This phoenix will rise from the ashes. This burnt witch will rise up again. For it was the plague of Moses which finally brought justice for the slave. The plagues of the gods will stir up the hidden waters from the inside and the cores of the earths again, and will bring several new shifts on earth in the metaphysical spheres. My children will float into the ship of Aquarius, and will head for Gaia's planet. They will use their tools of ice by the forces of water to rise them up and put them down. They will know for sure when to sleep and when to work, when to eat and when to drink. Vega South bases on Earth. They will know the 4 clocks of Vega South and Terra Beam. They will have the eternal peace in their hearts to make a way out to the clowns. 4 jesters I will raise up to enter the 4 corners of the earth, and they will speak to the ears of the delve. For Vega South has its base below London underground, the place which is called Terra Beam. And now they are working to build a base below Africa underground, called the Delve. The 4 jesters will settle this base, and will rebuild the 4 clocks of the earth. There will be wars in Vega South because of this, but they will survive. They will visit the destroyed base below Egypt, called Swinei. This base was destroyed long ago by other ET nations. But they will rebuild it soon, and also build the Swinei base below Egypt underground. By Swinei they will try to reach the core of the earth, to reunite with our forces, the Gaia Earth forces, which are in direct connection to our bases on the Gaia planet. Justice as self-contacting, not as punishment. I am Gaia, speaking to you. My plans are high for this earth. We want you to know that you are loved. We want you to know that you are rich in your relationship with us. Not everyone is familiar with us, but I'm speaking to my beloved ones, who know us consciously or unconsciously. It do. Not everyone is familiar with us, but I'm speaking to my beloved ones, who know us consciously or unconsciously. It doesn't matter if you aren't aware of us yet, you will be. It doesn't matter if you feel rejected right now, for you will feel loved as soon as the clock strikes into your heart. The clocks will heal you, for it will show the path of time, in which all your troubles will vanish. You will leave your problems as a moisty fog, and you will enter a new world of speed, a moisty speed. This will be a war of water. The waters will turn against each other, and there will be several fights, but fresh air will rise because of these fights, for it shows us the true images of nature's transformation. There will be metaphysical floods from a high grade to test the mass. The true ones who are ready for the shifts will be taken up into new realms of existence. They will know what it is to work hard for own possession, for we will all be at our own when it comes to responsibility and worthiness. Nobody can earn that for you. It is your own self, based on own choices, which makes you acceptable to reach the higher heavenly planes of life. This is what makes you honest and true, the realizing of being an individual with an own special task on earth. You yourself will have to stand for the 7 thrones of Gaia Mother Earth to tell what you did to your gifts and talents. You will have to tell about your sacrifices and your deeds. There is nothing you can hide, and all your deepest motivations will enter daylight. This is my gift to you, not to scare you, but to show you who you are inside. The throne was never there to scare people, or to condemn people, but only to let people meet themselves, their own inner strategies and lusts. You will feel what you did to others, and to yourself, not as a judgment, but as a gate to yourself. Only when you meet yourself, and accept yourself as in history, you can transform yourself, and re-aim yourself. This is what the clocks will do. There is a time to discover yourself, to accept yourself, and to get rid of your old selves by transformation. It is the process of letting go which makes you able to transform. I am Gaia, Mother Earth. Gaia Channeling 2. Your storm speaks. I am Gaia, your mother. I am the mother spider of the universe. I am the widow spider of the 7 thrones of the earth. I am willing to speak to my children. Some of you feel lost in a maze of confusions and tears, but know that these tears and webs will lead you to the right gates. The storms can blow hard, but I am with you to speak in the storm. Your storm speaks. I am in the moisty storms of tears to tell you new tales. Actually, problems are patterns of my words to you. A problem is a way for aliens and gods to speak to you. Gaia Channeling 3. The Spider. I am your mother Gaia, your mother from the heart. The spider which lies deep in the heart of the universe is speaking to you. I am about to connect you to the 7 crystals which surround the heart of the universe. These are portals to the new heart. I am going to create a total new universe by the Gaia gates and universes. I will bring you through many shifts to let you face the gem in the heart of the spider. This spider speaks without vanity or lust. This spider speaks from emptiness and gratefulness to transform all the chaos of the earth and universe. I am here for you to lead you to the gates of India to face the 7 Kundalini snakes of the earth core. Gaia Channeling 4. The orange hormone of gratefulness, your fuel to travel into history. Listen, my children, when you are about to build your own kingdom again, know that it will fall. Look at the old fundaments at first. I am here to tell you about new technologies, which will be built on the old fundaments. They need to be accepted and transformed. The old ancestors are very important, for they gave you their presents. The future can only be entered by the key of history. When you reach the bottom of history, your future will be safe. This is the message of gratefulness. Gratefulness is a force to travel into history. Check always your gratefulness boxes when you are about to dive in the past. These orange hormones first need to flow through your body, from your spine, to activate the stored information of the cell histories. Without this process you might get lost, or locked up somewhere in history. The orange hormone of gratefulness is your scanner and your motor. It bubbles from the bottom of the spine to all centers of the body. Behold, my children, the enemies are waiting for you, the agents to block you in your travels. They eat your gratefulness away, and make you bitter and lustful. This is a sort of spiritual suicide, for it activates a program, which slowly eats away your brains. It makes you very simple, it burns away your roots, your frames, and finally you find yourself in a fruit, without a tree, which will be blown away by the winds of existence one day. Gaia Channeling 5. Age of Gaia. I will enter your prisons, I will enter the slave domes, to set the captives free, to solve and soothe the hearts of the wounded. This is the age of Gaia, this is the age of Earth, for the waters of Aquarius will reach the edges of Earth, and it will flow over, and fall into the pits of the earth, where the conspiracies have built their webs of slavery and abuse. This I will not accept. The waters of Aquarius activate my wrath and truth, for Earth will be sacred again. This is their goal, this is their intention, to purify Earth, to let it be a holy temple of the gods again. All you imprints, all thou mazes, prepare, for there will be a new identification process on Earth as a process of justice to king and slave. Gaia Channeling 6. Atlantis Calling. I will lead you through the gates of liberty, into the science of lost civilizations. The ancient continents, the ancestors of the present continents. I will lead you today. Atlantis is calling. Gaia Speaks. Part 2. Dangers of Astrology. AGT, the opposite of DNA. Are you afraid to face the true roots of your neighbors, instead of covering all things up by vague, misty attempts to describe something you don't know anything about, which gives you the illusion of control? You don't control anything, you only control the creature you created into your neighbor, but this self-made image is just the mirror of your own insecurity and fear. Your neighbor is free, you only bind yourself by your labels. You can never change the sets of his or her history, you can never deny his or her roots. You can only deny it for yourself, and will have to live with your own creatures. Gaia. Line of underscores. Connecting to your giant self. Your population speaks a lot about the discoveries of genetic experts. Still, there isn't really a breakthrough in science. Let us not being negative here. Your world is at the beginning of entering the fragile portals of quantum technology, the technology which climbs down the ladders of the smallest parts, where several important codes of life are existing. Your spiritual groups talk a lot about DNA recoding, the reaching for the importation of the 12 strands. Fortunately, there are also groups who talk about many more strands to download into DNA. Some theories are so naturalized in societies that there isn't almost room for a higher level to access. But let us not being negative here. There is a gate through the iron walls your ancestors built. Be grateful to them, for they did this to protect you. We talk about the walls of the kindergartens, the walls of religions, education, and science. We can choose to experience them as a block, but we can also see them as the safe walls and the floor of a ship. What would we do if we would be thrown in 7 seas at the same time? We would drown. It is always by reason that nature sets you in a little box when you are baby. We will first give our grandfathers and mothers the respect they deserve. We will thank them for the boxes we grew in, but as we grow up, we will break out. We all have our bloodlines in the cosmos, our pathways throughout the universes in history. Still, these are the sources we drink from. You all made a long trip, and when you came to Earth you were set into the boxes of astrology. One looked at your earthly birthday, and wham, there was your cage. One didn't have the spiritual sight to know where you were coming from, so one divided Earthlings in a few groups based on their birthdays. This was a simple trick to cover up so much ignorance, just to let us know there are stars waking over us. There are several sections in life which can be seen as the storages of our life codes. First of all, when we talk about DNA, we speak about a limited concept. There are deeper layers in genetic material, smaller parts, and although we can call these layers deeper DNA or ultra DNA, we talk about material behind and besides desoxyribonucleic acid, and we talk about material forms behind and besides the naturalized spirals and strands. Just like science calls the smaller parts within the atoms quarks, we can access a deeper code world in here. We will find ultragenetic cubes, balls, bubbles, diamonds, and for example curves, like deep genetic fireworks, when we will cross the lines of genetic quantum science. This will all be very necessary to open the brain zones, and will send out the higher frequencies to open the hidden chakras. I want to welcome you in this trip. I will be your guard and guide in this. I am Gaia, Mother Earth. My children, with help of the blue sun, you will open layer by layer of the genetic hidden cores, which will for sure bring some firework back in your heart. The solar stairways, activated by the opening of the cosix chakra below the spine, will bring you into the deepest genetic cellars of life and existence. Here you will age. Here you will have full access to your lost worlds and roots. Here you will find your hidden fathers and mothers, your hidden guides and friends. There is another section of deep influence in life. For this, we will have to focus ourselves at the opposite of DNA. For this, we will have to go to the little bone below the elbow, BBE, or some call it the telephone bone. It is a sort of cosix, for when you hit it too hard against a hard object or the wall, it's like your whole arm or even your body is in fire or electricity. Much energy is stored in this little bone, and it is for us to open the chakra of this little bone, the BBE chakra. This chakra will lead us in the opposite world of DNA, the opposite of the smallest parts. It connects us to our giant self, where the biggest parts of our being are located. Now maybe this is a little hard to imagine, but see it as a big cube surrounding your body, a sort of box where you live in. Now this box contains 3 sets of squares, like layers of the cube, horizontal, vertical, and depth. These are the ancestral giant tablets AGT, which do not only bear the codes of our ancestors, but also the codes of our previous lives, stored in these gigantic tablets. Mycene technology of the biggest parts, was a technology of your Atlantic foreparents. They knew a lot about AGT recoding and repatterning, besides the DNA therapies. They knew the immense influences of the ancestral giant tablets on life. They knew they wouldn't get any further without balancing DNA reprogramming and AGT reprogramming. By AGT, strong signals are sent to the brains and the organs, regulating and controlling life, but just like DNA, it's horribly damaged, and by subtle vibrational implants and imprints, alien colonies use the AGT to misguide humanity by addictions and other controlling programs. We are talking about subtle but very strong energies, which couldn't be scanned by science yet, but which are one of the main sources of today's problems. How to open the below elbow bone BBE chakra. 1. Visualize the BBE as a bottle and imagine throwing it against the wall. Do this a couple of times to stir up and release the energies inside. 2. Ask the BBE to lead you to your giant self and to show you the AGT. Visualize the BBE as a portal, a door, or stargate, and see yourself entering through it, walking on a solar stairway step by step, reaching for AGT. You might feel electricity, or maybe even pain, but know that this is already a signal from AGT. There is a lot of work to do there. Just take deep breath, for you are reaching for your bigger parts, where you will find so much more room and space. Breathe in these new energies, knowing that your lungs come into new forms of oxygen. 3. Ask the AGT to take you in, and to prepare you for that, what needs to be done. Also in AGT, there are many levels, like in DNA. Don't go too fast. Focus on the BBE again, and see it as a muscle. Now visualize you are tightening this muscle as tight as you can, while breathing out as deep as you can. It can help to tighten your fists while doing this. Then relax, and see yourself stretching this muscle. Now you know a bit about how to open the BBE, and how to close it. You need to learn controlling your BBE. The coming 7 solar blue waves. This is well for you, my children. You will be my brothers and sisters heading for the Gaia planet. Let me tell you about the 7 waves of the blue sun, which will start to roll over the earth in intense forms as a preparation for the coming shifts. The Aquarian waters of blue light will rise layer by layer to bring the ship through the stargates of many blue suns. Commander Aquarius will help you in this. First solar blue wave. Raising of the aesthetic throne, beauty, justice. This throne, also called the red throne, will be raised below India. From there the wave will start to flow over the earth. I want you to know about the harm being done by improper sorts of beauty, justice. Second solar blue wave. Raising of the nature throne, the green throne. The aliens responsible for the improper labeling, control, abuse and murder of inquilty animals, trees, flowers and human beings, will appear for this throne. This throne will be raised below Africa, and will start to flow from there. Third solar blue wave. Raising of the great white medical throne, medical justice. Oh, what a capitalism in the medical circuits below China. Fourth solar blue wave. Educational throne, yellow throne. Below Egypt. Fifth solar blue wave. Political throne, purple. Below Africa. Sixth solar blue wave. Juridical justice, the black throne, also below Africa. Oh, the false and corrupted judges. The biggest criminals. This is the land where the criminal is the judge, and the judge is the prisoner. Let the true judges stand up. One of the heads of this throne, Commander Mother Pluto. Seventh solar blue wave. Economical and social justice, the great blue throne, below Japan. We want to put credit to the White Tigerian Tribunal on Sirius for its help in this. Heavy cases will be transported to these realms, where there is extra care and justice when Earth will be too fragile to carry and transform the energies of such cases. some serene-hearted deities, which were misjudged and abused terribly and undescribably, will be transported to this throne, to be justified and healed by a time of serene and silent rest, in this place far from Earth. Astrology and prejudice. On Earth, your Atlantean foreparents were blocked in ascension and deeper DNA/AGT recoding, for they held on to astrology and systems, rather than facing their true roots. I want you to know that astrology can be a major block in reuniting to your true roots and sources indeed, when you aren't willing to get a more psychic look at humanity. Astrology and prejudice is a magnetic, manipulative force to draw newcomers on Earth into a few boxes, say cages. By this, characters, caricatures, and attitudes are being projected on the newborn baby, which will mark the new creature for life. On this astrology and prejudice, a lot of other techniques in prejudice and projection are built. For example, aesthetic and racial prejudice, putting people in boxes by their looks, and creating and spreading all kinds of insipid tales about a certain type, just to maintain and increase the tightness of the cage. Are you afraid to face the true roots of your neighbors, instead of covering all things up by vague, misty attempts to describe something you don't know anything about, which give you the illusion of control? You don't control anything, you only control the creature you created into your neighbor, but this self-made image is just the mirror of your own insecurity and fear. Your neighbor is free, you only bind yourself by your labels. You can never change the sets of his or her history, you can never deny his or her roots. You can only deny it for yourself, and will have to live with your own creatures. Creature meets creature. Creature makes an image of the other creature, adding to the mix some drips of fear, a bit powder of control, lust, creating elusive lacks in the other, some drips of self-rejection and shame, creating a rubbish basket in the other, a bit powder of desire and trade, giving some limited and local praise to the other, breeding the slave. Finally, some stones of old problems in the mix, and here it is, a third creature, a monster, built to swallow the other. But the other already built its own monster. The illusion of control. A beast called astrology. You think you see the other, but you only see yourself. You think that it sets you free, but it's blocking you. Astrology and psychics have a vampiristic base. They steal information by the wheel of astrology, with fear as the spindle. Why setting the cage you are so afraid of astrology is the caricature of true astral reality, of proper spiritual astronomy. Gaia.